I'm live. Hi, everyone. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Can you hear Henry gobbling down his food in his bowl next to me? Hello, hello. How's my sound? Can you hear me? Confirm? Everyone's saying hi. I didn't check my sound, so hopefully it's good. Ooh. Hi, everyone. Hello, hello. Can see in here. Let's get this party started. I love your spirit. Love the attitude. You can hear me. Hi, everyone. It's been so long. Hi, Belinda, UK hun. Yeah, we obviously have to talk about Drag Race UK because it's the only thing that lives in my head at this moment. Cheers. Cheers. Oh my gosh, we have so much to talk about. It's been a while. It's been a little while since we've been here live on YouTube. And we haven't gotten to talk about Camp Gertie, which is the whole new theme on Patreon for the next year. So I wanted to make sure that we talk about that here. And I wanted to, hi, Melisha. Melisha's here. I also wanted to talk about Drag Race UK. And I also want to show you what I'm knitting. And yeah, whatever other like silly stuff we want to talk about today. You love my eye makeup? Oh my gosh. So guys, well, first let me tell you, so this hat, I told you guys on Instagram, if you saw my post, like there is a YouTube tutorial coming up for this hat. So it will have a downloadable free pattern component on charm patterns. And then here on YouTube, you'll get the video tutorial for how to make it. I got to tell you, it's not hard to make. Apparently it's hard to make a video of how to do it. Let me just breathe for a minute. Because, so first I filmed it last week and I was like, I'm just not happy. It had been too long between when I filmed it and when I drafted the pattern. And so I just felt like I wasn't completely 100% there. So I was like, I'm going to refilm. Today I refilm. What happens? I have a thread on this side of my hat for like half the video. And it's like a long green thread. And so I'm thinking, do I refilm a third time? Or do I just say like, just deal? You're going to have to deal with my imperfections. I know. It's hard to believe I'm not perfect, I'm sure. But it's true. So just deal. You guys can deal. It'll be fine, right? I mean, if anyone points it out, then just tell them that I really tried. I really tried. Green screen the thread with some sort of secret magical design. All right. I mean, I'd rather get the tutorial to you. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So how dare I be human? I know I'm the worst. You'll still be feeling the fantasy. I mean, how can you not? I'm actually pretty happy with where I got the hat in this last filming. So you can see it's pretty simple. It's just like this flat design, right? It's like an envelope hat. This is called a garrison hat, by the way, very World War II. Fully lined and has piping plus a top stitching detail around the band. Of course, I was also like mad at myself because my top stitching wasn't perfect. Because this is me filming, right? I have the sewing machine and then there's a GoPro between my face and the needle. So I'm always like trying to get look around it a little bit. And anytime I do top stitching on video with a camera rolling, it's never perfect. And I'm always like beating myself up mentally the whole time I'm filming it because I'm like, they're going to notice, they're going to say something. So, welcome to my therapy session. Insecurities, doubts, we all have them. Who needs them? So that's the story with the hat. I actually based the hat on a vintage Boy Scout hat. So I bought it on Etsy. Oh my gosh. I mean, if you've ever spent a weekend or 8 looking at vintage, Scout paraphernalia on Etsy, then you know my life. And I bought a few little vintage garrison style hats to kind of get the style, and they're super easy to make. And yeah, I got to like look inside one and really like make it authentic to an original one. Anyway, what else can I tell you? Oh, so we don't have that much time today because at 5 o'clock, there is a Zoom meeting for patrons. So I'm going to be running off there. So don't let me just go on too long. Okay. I want to tell you guys about Camp Gertie on Patreon. So at the beginning of this month, it was our 1-year anniversary of Gertie's World, what we used to call Gertie's World, on Patreon, which is my monthly subscription platform for releasing patterns and video every month. So if you're on Patreon, hopefully you love it. Hopefully you're feeling the fantasy. You love it, and we love you. And we wanted to do a new theme for the 2nd year of Patreon. So I'm actually so excited we're talking about this because the Camp Gertie idea came through discussions on YouTube Live. So if you missed this, at the beginning of the pandemic, which is almost a year ago now, I was doing a live stream every day on YouTube. And we were just like talking about my life. We were preening. We were talking about the pandemic. I think it's going to be a time capsule for me when I look back in 10 years and I was like, and I'm going to be like, what was I doing with my life? They were really fun though. I had a lot of fun. I think back very fondly to those days. And during this time, you may remember I bought a vintage camper, a 63 Shasta. And I also got really into playing this mobile game called Animal Crossing Pocket Camp. Okay. It's like the free mobile version of Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm still addicted to it, by the way. I do not miss a day of Animal Crossing Pocket Camp. So I got really into this like camping idea, and we were like kind of just joking through live streams that like, we could form a troop of like vintage sewing enthusiasts and we'd be called the Charm Scouts. And it just kind of took off, and it became this sort of like running joke here on YouTube. And so when I was thinking about a new theme for Patreon, I was like, you know what? I kind of feel like we have to do this Camp Gertie Charm Scouts thing and make like a whole year of it on Patreon and really make this funny little fantasy we all had come to life in some ways. So it is, it's ridiculous. It's not meant to be serious. It's meant to make you smile. And, it has certainly made me smile while we've been working on it. I got to rewatch the movie Troop Beverly Hills, which is a huge inspiration for the official troop uniform that I'm wearing right now. So if you have not seen that movie, or if you haven't seen it since you were a kid, you need to, like, after this is over, you need to like run, don't walk, and watch Troop Beverly Hills on Amazon Prime or wherever you may find it. I had to rent it, but it is so good. It's such a lovely little tale about community and friendship and values. Like, it has a lot of depth to it, like a surprising amount of depth to it. And I think it really holds up over the decades. So give it a watch. But you may remember that Phyllis Neffler is the main character in Troop Beverly Hills. She's the troop leader, and she wears a sort of like cape number and a little garrison style cap through the whole thing. So that is why I knew that our first project for Camp Gertie would need to be this Charm Scout capelet. So that's the project for February. So you can see fully lined, has a little snap closure. There we go. Little epaulets. Fun, fun, fun. We also have the Camp Gertie official patch, which you can order if you're a patron. There's a link where you can buy this separately. And then, so to launch Camp Gertie, we introduced some new tiers on Patreon. So I do want to mention this because if you've kind of missed the emails and the posts and stuff, you should know if you're on Patreon and you want to be part of what's going on in Camp Gertie, you may want to change your tier by the end of the day tomorrow. So I wanted to make sure we talked about it today. So there are some new tiers, and the big thing is that the new tiers all have merit badges. Okay, so actual little round monthly merit badges that will be shipped to you worldwide. And every month we're going to be focusing on a new skill. Okay, so the project, let's say we did a merit badge for this month, maybe would have said the skill was piping, right? Or maybe the skill was a tailored collar or something like that. So we would make a merit badge designed to showcase that skill. And in the videos for the next year on Patreon, I'm going to be really focusing on your educational journey is what I'm calling it. Okay. We're going to be on a journey together. So it's an educational journey. Every video, I'm going to be focusing on one set of skills specifically for the month. And then you're going to get a merit badge in the mail. And of course, at some point, we'll be doing like a sash pattern. So you can sew your badges onto your sash. We have more ideas for other Scout themed projects over the year too. So perhaps a little shirt dress, that you can wear your sash over with your little kerchief. Lots of ideas. So I will say this theme is going to continue through the year. It is not going to be like an overarching every month theme, right? It's going to be like this month, for instance, the capelet. I did the Scout version that I'm wearing now, that I'm preening in. But I also wanted to show what it looked like if you weren't into doing this for whatever reason. I can't even imagine what it would be. But let's just say you're not into this Camp Gertie idea and you don't want to do a Charm Scout capelet. I won't be offended. We're also going to show you ideas for how to make it work just in your everyday life. So I made a hooded version of this capelet as well that's not Scout themed. It's actually more like Beauty and the Beast themed. So as you know, there's always a fantasy. Let me just brush this curl out. There's always a fantasy. The question is, what is the fantasy? What is this month's fantasy? Oh, and the other thing, speaking of fantasies, I felt like I had to go fully into this world of vintage scouting. So I researched like the Girl Scout handbooks, the motto, the laws, the oath, all of that, and came up with our set of Charm Scout laws and the oath and everything that sort of corresponds in the world of Charm Scout. So it's really fun. And I made you guys a printable, downloadable sort of like wall hanging kind of thing that you can print out with your oath and your laws and everything, because obviously you'll want to have them nearby at all times. You feel like both capelets were made for you, Marin. Let's see. All right. So I feel like I just gave you a lot of information. We can look at some questions now. Chantal says, question, will the video be able to be referenced at a later time? If we do piping this month, if I need to refer to it in May, would that still be available? So as long as you stay in your tier, you can still access everything in your tier. So at any point, if you want to see something from a past month, you certainly can. But obviously, you can just stay a Patreon member to be able to access all of that material. Any more questions? I need to post it to my wall behind me. I know. I actually, oh, hi, Erica. It's Erica. I actually have like a million more plates, like these, oh, you can't see them, vintage plates that I want to just like go full crazy lady and just do like a full wall of plates behind me. Question. What type of fabric would you recommend for the capelet and cap? So we always give you a very specific list of recommended fabrics in the instructions, but just to sort of give you the off the cuff rundown, because I know you guys prefer it if I try to memorize everything and tell you in a live stream. And of course I miss things, but anyway, let's see. The version I made is a double wool crepe, which is great because it has a lot of drape to it. You could also do something like a wool twill, a wool suiting, gabardine. If you live in a warmer climb, do you like that word? It sounds fancier than climate. If you live in a warmer climb, you could do it in like a cotton twill or a chino twill, something like that. Okay, what other silhouettes would you wear with the capelet? So I am currently wearing it with a pencil skirt. This is the Stanwick dress, Stanwick skirt with the Stanwick bodice expansion that we did on Patreon in October of 2020. And you could also wear this with, I don't know if I would wear a full skirt. I think it would be a lot of fullness unless you shortened the capelet to be like a very tiny capelet. I think then it would be really cute with a full skirt. So you could do that. You could also do, I think it would look really cute with shorts. Is anyone following my fantasy here? Like a Loretta short with a capelet. Perhaps a pair of like 40 style trousers would look really nice with this capelet. Just a few ideas. Do certain tiers have access to the monthly meetings, or do all tiers? The access to the Patreon Zoom meeting starts at the $10 tier now. So there's now a $7 tier and then 10 and then the princess tiers. So your Zoom meeting access is going to start at the $10 tier. I bet Hattie wishes she had a matching cape. Who knows what Hattie wishes she had? That little pea brain. Question, what is the skill for March? Oh, I see what you're trying to do there, Eva. I won't tell you. I won't tell you. It's a surprise. Sailor pants, love that idea. I did wool flannel, a little stiffer, but really nice. Let's see. Diana says, how much matching fabric do you think we'll need for the year to create a scout uniform? Where I live in the world, I have limited access to fabric, even through shipping. I mean, I can't really say because we don't have all the project samples planned yet. I would say, for this look, I probably used about 5 yards of fabric, and then, you might do well to like double that if there are things in the future you want to make to coordinate with it. But I will say we're also going to be doing different types of garments. So like, let's say we did this shirt dress. It's not going to be in a double wool crepe, right? It's going to be something in a fabric that's lighter weight, more breathable, all of that for summer. So it's really up to you. But yeah, I mean, you could, if you want to make sure you have enough on hand, like go crazy, buy 10 yards. I bought 27 yards. You don't need that much, though. I'll tell you that. When will the Camp Gertie badges be back in stock? So they are currently on back order, which means you can order them now. So if you want to go place an order, you will have one reserved for when they come back in stock, which should be early in March, which March starts on Monday, FYI. And we have a new project coming to you for Patreon, and excuse me, It is killer. You are going to die. You're going to die. Allison says, does joining the Patreon give you access to the back catalog depending on the skill level? Yes, it does. It does. It does. You get access to all the past monthly projects. Marin says, fun fact, the light pink Liberty car line goes perfectly with that wool. That is good to know. Any more questions, guys? Any more questions? I'm here. I'm here to answer your questions. Before I start rambling about unrelated items. What is Camp Gertie? Camp Gertie is the theme for Patreon for the next year. And Patreon is my platform for monthly subscriptions to downloadable patterns every month and video. And I will also say that with the Camp Gertie theme, there's now a new focus on community, which I'm really excited about. We have a Discord server now. So you guys have been asking for the past year for a closed group for Patreon members where you guys can talk to each other and sort of like a Facebook group, but for patrons. Well, I will say we didn't do a Facebook group, but we did make a Discord. And you may have never used Discord before. I hadn't, but it's a really cool place. It's like a closed group. It's integrated through Patreon. So if you're a member on Patreon, you automatically get access. And then you can go into this server and there are different forums. It's basically like a message board. So you can go, there are different forums and we have, different channels for everything from, there's a knitting channel, there's a beauty channel, but then there's also a channel for every one of the Patreon patterns that has ever been put out. So if you're having, you have a question about sewing the Barbie top, for instance, you could go to that channel and talk with other people there who have made it. There are also channels for my books and for my Butterick patterns. So it's a really cool place to connect with other Charm Scouts. Someone says, will you be doing a sew along for the uniform for those of us who are kind of new to sewing? So the thing about Patreon is that there is a full-length video tutorial for the monthly pattern every month. So for this capelet this month, I show you on video how to sew it from start to finish. So, I mean, I think it's kind of perfect for beginners if you're not super confident, because I'm going to hold your hand the whole way. Any more questions? Someone said, any ideas for vegan-friendly fabrics for the capelet? I mean, I did mention cotton, so I mean that would be a good place to start. Let's see, will you still be doing an inspiration presentation? Oh, so yeah, the other thing on Patreon that we do every month that I do is a monthly crowdcast where I give you a little fashion history lecture about the inspiration for that month's project. And it's really fun for me because I get to dig into all of my inspiration photos and all the geeky stuff that I love to talk about fashion history, and also sort of give you a little inside look into the behind the scenes development of a pattern. So we're still going to be doing that every month. I'm still going to be doing that every month. I did the Crowdcast on the 1st of this month. So it's already passed because I wanted to make sure to do one that coincided with the announcement of Camp Gertie so that I could answer your questions. And I kind of gave you a small little slideshow on the capelet inspiration. So not my usual lengthy one. We actually focused more on questions about the new tiers and all of that. It went almost 2 hours. You guys had so many questions. So yeah, if you have questions or you want to rewatch that, you can always rewatch the Crowdcasts on Patreon. Okay. Any more questions? Any more questions specifically about the Patreon? Yeah, I would love, now is the time to really, like, if you have questions about Patreon or changing your tier or what's the new theme all about? Tuve's had a question. I don't know if I understand the question right now. Thinking of just not doing the neck facing on the capelet and basting it to the neckline of the coat. For the hood? I'm making a princess coat with a cape and considering the attaching part. Thinking of just not doing the neck facing and basting it. How many times do I have to read this question before I just hit? Thinking of just not doing the neck facing on the capelet and basting it to the neckline of the coat. Yeah, I think you could do that. You're going to need something to finish the inside of the coat, right? So there's going to need to be something, right? There's going to need something that finishes the inner neckline edge. So I don't know. Sorry, it's hard to explain. Do you like me trying to understand? Yeah, I can see how you would kind of need to experiment with that a little bit because there are going to be a lot of layers. You're going to need to use the hooded princess coat version. And yeah, you're going to need to attach the capelet. And then, yeah, you're going to need to do a facing or something on the inside so that there's a finishing thing there. Okay. Oh, there's where are the Zoom details? It's in Patreon. It's in your posts. So I put up a separate post about the Zoom meeting, and there's a link to the meeting there. What are the Patreon specific projects you are planning? Ashley, I would never just give that up so easily. We like to surprise you guys every month. So I can't tell you specifically what they are, but I can tell you they're going to be amazing. And we have several obviously in the works right now, and I'm like equally excited about all of them. You guys can't find Zoom details. There you should be. So go to your Patreon account. They're in your feed. It was about a week ago, probably. I put up, or it might have been like Monday this week. I put up a post specifically about the Zoom meeting, and then there should be a link in there. Will Zoom meetings be on Saturdays now? This week they are. The Zoom meetings kind of change day and sometimes time regularly. The thing about announcing a Zoom meeting is that every time I do, people are pretty much disappointed. So like no matter what I do. So my MO has kind of always been to just move it around a little bit so that if you weren't happy with the last time, maybe you'll be happy with the new time. Who knows? So this week we're doing it on a Saturday, which is a new day for me. I'm not going to promise to do it on Saturdays always, just because, this is a job that can take over your life very, very easily. And as I mentioned in my past therapy sessions here on YouTube, I am trying to have a little bit of the old work-life balance. I say as I'm doing a YouTube live, a Zoom meeting, and filming a video on a Saturday. But progress, not perfection. Someone had a question about patches. Oh, Marin says, oh, hey, is this Buy Gertie merchandise link on YouTube for real? Apologize if you've announced that, but I just blanked. Oh my gosh. So we haven't announced it yet. And actually there is like a merch section on my YouTube platform now where you can get like sweatshirts with the badge sort of logo on them. There's mugs, there's onesies for your children. There are little makeup pouches. There are charm pattern sweatshirts. I will say it's kind of a work in progress, which is why it's not announced yet. And there's more things coming. And also the things that are up there are going to be like tweaked a little bit in terms of like what color you see. The cool thing about the merch site is that you can go and kind of customize what you want. So if you see a sweatshirt and you see that it's displayed in pink, click, and you don't like pink, whatever, fine. It's your life. You don't like pink, you can click on it and then you can see the other colors that are available and you can just choose your color and they make it for you and send it to you. So it's one of those like third-party merch sites where it's manufactured by someone else on demand. So this is like a totally new thing I'm trying. I'm pretty excited because I am going to be ordering myself, obviously, a Camp Gertie sweatshirt and mug and makeup pouch and all of that. So let's see. We need dog hoodies. Oh my gosh, I have to tell you that for some reason, there is like a little dog onesie kind of thing. Not a onesie. It's a little dog t-shirt. But for whatever reason, we can't get our design to display on the dog product. So obviously I'm very unhappy because I wanted one for Hattie, but so the other thing is, let me just arrange my accessories. The other thing is there's more coming. So if you're, wishing there was something else there, it might be coming, so, we're still getting our ducks in a row a little bit, but you can go check it out now. Don't like pink, whatever, it's your life. Hi, Colin. Don't forget your sweatpants. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so you guys know I like a little bit of loungewear. I'm not above it. So I'm pretty excited to have like a Camp Gertie hoodie and all of that. Okay. Can't find the Zoom details. So as I mentioned earlier, the Zoom is for the $10 tier and above. Okay. We've always done 2 live streams a month, and one was accessible to the higher tiers and the other wasn't. So just to keep it clean, understandable. I think there was some confusion about the tiers last year. There's always confusion about the tiers. So just to make it really clear, the Crowdcast is available to everyone in every tier. And that's your one live stream you get a month in the lower tiers. And then starting at the $10 tier, you get access to the Zoom. I love the green scarf that you styled with the capelet. I love it too. I unfortunately left it at the studio. So I'm just doing a little simple gold necklace today. Okay, any more questions? This is the question of the day. If I subscribe as a newcomer to Patreon, will I have access to previous projects? Yes, you will. You will. T-shirt, you need a hoodie, cannot log to Discord. I cannot log into Discord no matter how I go about it. Help, please. So, Carol, what I would do is first get yourself a Discord account. So just go to discord.com, make an account, set it up. Then you're going to go to Patreon. I would recommend doing this on a laptop, desktop, not on a mobile site, not on the app. Okay. Then you're going to go to my profile, that little round circle in the Patreon site in the upper right-hand corner. You're going to click on that. Then you're going to click on my profile settings. Then you're going to be taken to a page. You can see how many times I've explained this. Then you're going to be taken to a page. I actually explained this to my mom. Is my mom here? And she got on. So anyway, hopefully this works. Okay. You're going to be taken to a page. And at the top, they'll say like profile, and they'll say apps. Okay. So you're looking for that word, apps. You're going to click on apps. And then you'll see you're going to scroll down and you'll see a little button that says Discord, and you're going to have to click something that says to connect Discord. Okay. And then what it's going to do, it's going to integrate your Patreon with Discord, and then it'll take you and let you in to the Camp Gertie server. So once you click that little connect button, when you go back to Discord, you should see on the left-hand side of Discord, you'll see a little Camp Gertie badge, and click on that, and that's our server. All right. Will there be a pattern for the scarf? I mean, I could do a little tutorial. I don't think it needs a tutorial or a pattern, because it's just a square, right? So it's a big square. It was probably like, I'll get you dimensions. It was a big square, and then you put it right sides together in a triangle, stitch around the two open edges, but leave yourself a small hole to turn it right side out, and then you're going to edge stitch that seam, right? So press it, and that's it. That's it. Y'all, the mug and the little pouchlet on the shop say "Feel the Fantasy" on the back. They do, guys. So "Feel the Fantasy" is the Charm Scouts motto. It's my personal life motto as well. So obviously it needed to be the Charm Scouts motto. So it is on the pouch and it's on the mug, as Maren pointed out, which is really cute. I can't even. Did I miss the dish on Drag Race? No, you didn't. We haven't even started talking about it. So let's talk about my knitting. We have like 20 minutes left, guys. So I really want to give you a knitting update, which is I have been working on this same pattern for months now. And it's Amy's new pattern. So this is Poison Girls, the lovely Amy of Poison Girls. She came out with this fisherman. It's called the Rosemary Fisherman Sweater. And the timing was so crazy. The other thing I'll say, I'm just going to disclose, I'm friends with Amy. We're like this. Well, we're friends. Anyway, she sometimes gives me little sneak peeks of her work, and vice versa. And she texted me that she was working on this like Aran fisherman style sweater, and I lost my mind because I had been spending a lot of time on like Ravelry and all those sites looking at fisherman style sweaters with all this cabling and all that. And I looked at some of the instructions and I was like, I'm never going to be able to do this. Like, this is so beyond my level. I mean, you guys know I haven't been knitting for that long, or at least not knitting garments for that long. So I was like, kind of put it in the back of my mind, like maybe someday I'll be able to do one of those. And also they never really have a cute shape. They're like very big and bulky. So she was working on this, and it's like a cropped little, tapered waist fisherman style sweater. And I gotta tell you guys, I was nervous, but it is not hard. Like I find her instructions very easy to follow. And the other thing about fisherman style sweaters or Aran style sweaters is there's a lot of stitch patterns generally going on at the same time. So you'll have like the honeycomb stitch, which is this one in the middle, which you're supposed to do something on rows 3 and 7. But then there's like another pattern that's happening, like this big cable here, where you're only supposed to do something on row 7 or something like that. So to me, I'm like, how am I going to keep track of all this? So I will say she does a great job, as always, of making it very intuitive and easy to follow. And if I can do it, you can do it. The other thing is she, for the first time, she did a video course with her pattern. So you can actually watch, like, I think it's 2 hours long, like her giving you sort of insider knowledge of the sweater and her tips and tricks for how to knit it. So Poison Girls, Rosemary sweater. So obviously I'm not done yet, and I've really slowed down on, I'm like in the final haul here, and I'm like losing my steam, but it needs a few more inches going here. Yeah, so I'm really excited about that. And my next sweater, my next project is going to be a unicorn sweater for my niece. My mom knitted me this unicorn sweater in the 80s, and I loved it. And apparently she just found the pattern and she wants me to make one for Claudia. She offered to make one for Claudia, and then somehow it got pawned off on me. I think because I'm doing such a good job with my knitting that she was impressed, and she has trusted me with this task of making a unicorn sweater. So that's next. Who's the pattern from again? It's from Poison Girls. So Poison and then girls with like 2 or 3 R's. So like girls. Okay, so that's knitting, or what I'm going to wear it with. So do you guys remember when I did the Stanwyck skirt? There's this like purple tweed version of the skirt, like full skirt with the suspenders. I think that's going to look so cute with that skirt. That's what I'm planning. But we'll see. You never really know until you try it on. Also, maybe like a little beret. Little beret number. Okay, so there's no store tab under her YouTube profile that I see. Yeah, it should be on my YouTube channel main page. I don't know if it shows up in mobile. That's a good question. I don't know. Does the $10 tier get the badges or just the princess level? The $10 tier does get the badges. So, yeah, if you have questions about what's included with any tier, we really spelled it out in the tier descriptions on Patreon. So if you're not sure, I would just, if you want to know more about what's in each tier, it kind of builds from the $7 tier up. So in the $10 tier, you get everything you got in the $7 tier plus these things, that kind of thing. Oh, good. Someone's linking to the merch. It's under the video on mobile. Thanks, guys. Yeah, this merch thing is like a learning curve. I'm glad you all like it, though. Okay, so should we talk Drag Race? Because we need to. So you guys know I'm a huge fan of the TV show RuPaul's Drag Race, and we're living in a time. What a time, what a world, where there are, I'm the only person watching US. There are 2 seasons going simultaneously of Drag Race. There is season 13 of the US version of the show happening right now, and simultaneously you can watch season 2 of RuPaul's Drag Race UK. So the funny thing is, I don't know if it's funny, but it's certainly something. The UK version of the show is just blowing the US version out of the water. It's probably the best cast they've had on that show in years in any country. And they're the challenge has been amazing. The sort of camaraderie among the queens has been amazing. There was an episode 2 weeks ago that was called it was like a Eurovision style competition, and divided the girls into 2 teams where they had to do a version of this song called UK Hun, which, I mean, I now can't remember a time when that song was not stuck in my head. But it's honestly, I have to say, like, probably the best episode of any Drag Race show I've ever seen. I just freaking loved it, as did the rest of the world. And yeah, these UK queens are really like just capturing everyone's hearts. Ding dang dong, clap for the UK Hun is all I have to say. So there is also a US version happening right now. Meh is my feeling. I'm not that jazzed either way. I am truly obsessed with these UK queens though. And I've rewatched every episode. There was also a lockdown special. Oh, the other thing that happened was that they had to stop filming in the middle of the season because of Corona. Went home for 7 months, quarantined, and then came back 7 months later and finished the competition. So, I mean, the drama. They also did a lockdown special episode, which I loved. I thought it was like so poignant and funny and sweet. Like, you got to, it was all the queens like at home, like with their cats, with their partners. Probably one of my favorite, someone just mentioned Joe Black, and one of my favorite parts of it was when Joe Black was talking about how you can't be a minimalist and be a drag queen. And they were like showing just like the drag accoutrements, like taking over these queens' lives and homes. And I relate so strongly to that. Yeah, so it was a great episode. I know that some people felt it was too depressing. I listened to a podcast where the 2 hosts were like just so bummed out by this episode, but it was very real and done in a very like endearing way. And yeah, there were moments of it that were really hard to watch, you know, because we're still living through this pandemic, but I loved it. Lawrence Chaney. Okay, so who do we think is going to win? It's going to be one of the 4 United King dolls. I mean, as soon as I saw them bing bang bonging over that stage, I was like, it's going to be one of these 4 queens. Who is it? I put my money on Lawrence Chaney, though I have to say she's not my favorite. I think she's going to win, but she's not my absolute favorite. I think it's going to come down, this is my prediction. Mark my words. I think it's going to come down between Lawrence Chaney and Ahura. Agree? Disagree? But I have a huge soft spot for both Tace and Bimini. I would say they're probably my 2 favorites this season, but I don't think they're going to make it to the top 2. So that's life. Where am I watching it? Okay, so I watch it through the app Wow Presents Plus. So, I mean, the downside is you have to buy another streaming app. I'm all about streaming things legally, and I feel like I'm in the minority on that. But, you know, I'm a content creator. I like it when people don't steal my downloadable items. So I try to return that to the world. I'm not judging you if you pirate things. Apparently you're able to do it somehow, but I'm saying I'm a good girl, so I don't do that. I pay Wow Presents Plus $3.99 a month for the privilege of watching these amazing queens, and also you get all of the other Drag Race ancillary digital content as well. You get Trixie and Katya's show without all the bad words bleeped out, which to me is just worth it, worth $3.99 a month in itself, because I don't know if you've ever heard how they bleep out words on YouTube, but they use a quack. And these queens swear constantly. So you just hear quack, 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 quack. I cannot take it. So we're $3.99 a month just to not have to listen to that. A charm scout would never pirate. I mean, I just feel like another thing about me is that I am a huge Redditor. I feel like this is a dirty secret of mine because this is like Reddit is probably the social platform I spend the most of my time on. And the reason I like it is because I don't post anything. Like I don't have any sort of following or karma or anything like that. I truly am just like a Reddit lurker. And it seems like, so anyway, the thing about Reddit is there's like a huge RuPaul's Drag Race subreddit. So if you want to just, read people making hilarious, insightful comments about the shows, you should go to Reddit. But they all seem to watch these things illegally. And I'm like, how do you guys do it? You lurk on Reddit too. Yeah, I love Reddit. Yeah, I'm obsessed with Reddit. I'm glad I'm not the only one. Craft snark. I don't go to anything craft related. I went to the sewing subreddit once, and I was really excited because I saw someone had posted a picnic skirt, and then I was like, I'm not going to read it. Like, I don't want I don't know. You just never know what people are going to say, especially on Reddit. So I was like, I don't want to go there and have someone be like, I hate her patterns. I don't know. So you will never find me on Reddit. It's just, I don't I don't interact. We have some Bimini fans. Bimini, Belinda, you're a Taze fan. Yeah. So I fell in love hardcore with Taze in the lockdown special when she's coming out. So she lives with Ahura now, by the way. And they have a little sexual tension. Did they or didn't they? I mean, they clearly did, sort of relationship. And so Taze comes out of the bedroom, no makeup, huge Diana Ross wig, and going, who, me? Like this? And apparently that is her catchphrase. Who, me? Like this? And she, it's in her Instagram bio. It's in her verse on UK Hun. And so now that's also something I say. Who, me? Like this? I recommend it. Just say it whenever you can. All right, everyone. We have about 3 minutes left. Any burning questions? I'm on a fitness journey. Did you, who, me, on a fitness journey? I am. I have a Peloton now. Are any of you Pelotoners? Do you want to be friends on Peloton? I'm getting my life. I'm getting my life in order. I'm getting my heart health in order. And yeah, I've been working out. That's all I have to say about that. Oh, activewear is interesting. Do you guys ever sew activewear? I just bought a lot of new activewear, but I've never sewn it. So that's interesting. Mina, you're on Peloton? When do our monthly patches ship? So the patches will ship. Can you friend me on Peloton? Yes, you can. So on Peloton, I am Gertie with okay. So it's Gertie with 3 R's. So GRRRTIE. Join me. Follow me. Watch how many of Cody Rigsby's classes I take. Oh, so yeah, then you have to find your instructors. And I sort of, randomly tried a class with Cody, and he was doing a stretch afterward, and he called it a stretching fantasy. And I was like, you're my soulmate, Cody Rigsby. So now I'm a huge Cody Rigsby fan. He does stretching fantasies. He's a Drag Race fan, all of that. So working towards a particular goal with my fitness. I think honestly, just to exercise. I truly went a full year without exercising. I did maybe some walks. like mile-long walks, but I just got out of the habit of like sweating and moving regularly. So I think to be able to feel like I can do cardiovascular motion without dying is my goal. All right. So sorry, do I love it? I love it. I'm in a cult and I love it. That's what everyone says about Peloton. Like you become a cult member, and I'm fully in. I love it. Ding. Not sponsored by Peloton. Paid full price for that bike, and it came 4 months late. So I was not super happy with the company. I'm not going to like talk them up, but I do really like the product now that I have it. Disney half marathons. Marin, I do not run. I'm going to give you a Michelle Visage. No. Gertie does not run. No. I'll bike all day long. Well, no, I won't. Please don't do it. So, but wait, what if it were activewear that didn't look like modern activewear? Do you know what I'm saying? Do you guys really think I'm just going to put out like a sports bra? Okay, I have to go, but I did see a question about the badges. So the merit badges, you have to be in your tier at midnight on the 1st. So when the 31st or the 28th or whatever the last day of the month is rolls over into the 1st of the next month, you need to be in your tier. That's when we collect the list of people who are getting patches that month, merit badges that month. And then they will ship out by the middle of the month. Okay. So like kind of give us a couple a couple weeks to get our ducks in a row, and then they will be shipping. But yeah, the data is collected at midnight on the 1st. And then you'll get your merit badge by, I would just say like by the end of the month. Okay. So like they're going to be going like regular first class mail. So, you know, they're not going to be like overnighted to you or anything. So just like give it some time. All right, everyone. By midnight on the 28th. So yeah, if you can take away anything from this little chat today, is that if you want a merit badge starting in March, tomorrow you need to change your tier if you're not already in a tier that gets merit badges. Okay. All right. I love you all. It was so great to connect with you. And, you know, if I didn't get to your question today, or if there's something else you want to talk about, I'm going to do another live on Monday. So because we have a new project coming out on Monday and it's so good. So I really want to do a live here. So let's connect then. All right. So if you're on Patreon, $10 tier and up, I will see you in the Zoom in just a couple minutes. All right, everyone. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.